Thank you all for joining us on our second fireside chat. Following our last discussion of inflation, we will dig in further about this topic.
Yes, energy price hike becomes the key reason for this high inflation. We pay around $5 per gallon in the Boston area. What is the gas price in the Bay Area, Edric?
It was $7 per gallon in July. Last year it was only $4 per gallon. David, this is making an impact for everyone. This morning, the Walmart CEO said consumers are opting for smaller packages of food and buying items like canned tuna and beans instead of deli meats and beef.
It indeed affects everyone's life. Edric, how should we monitor inflation?
There's an index called CPI. CPI stands for the Consumer Price Index. It represents the average change in prices consumers pay for a basket of various factors. But David, do you know how oil prices affect inflation?
Yes, oil price is the key indicator for CPI or inflation. Oil price increases will increase inflation and reduce economic growth. Oil prices directly affect the price of goods because factories need oil and gas to make products.
Good point, David. You know, oil prices indirectly affect other costs such as transportation, manufacturing, and heating. The increase in these costs can also affect the prices of goods and services because producers may pass production costs onto customers. David, why do we have this huge increase in oil or gas prices?
Oil and gas prices are increased due to a buff in demand and decrease in supply. Oil prices are increased due to two factors. One, the economy overheated and needed more oil for production. And two, the Russian-Ukraine war affected the oil supply. Edric, what do you think about oil prices affecting people's everyday life?
The hiking of oil prices affects everyone because oil is indirectly related to almost every part of our lives, such as driving to work, buying groceries, and sending kids to school. Also, more spending on gas prices would mean consumers have to cut spendings on other purchases. Oil prices not only affect our daily lives, but also the whole economy.
Indeed, rises in gas prices make people drive less to the grocery stores. Customers are more likely to shop online. However, there are also some impacts like how consumers need to pay higher shipping costs. This would also affect car prices. Car manufacturers will produce hybrid cars or electric cars, which are more expensive. Some people will have to use public transport.
Good point. I saw some news reports that businesses and colleges begin allowing an extra day off per week to limit the cost of commuting for its people. Long distance drives to work become discouraged for its consumption of fuel, and many look for a job that is more local and requires less fuel usage.
Edric, I'm not sure you noticed that Walmart and Target announced declining business in their last earnings call. The higher oil price definitely affects consumer spendings on goods and services. This would lead to a reduction in sales, and thus we are going to see these retailers start layoffs.
I agree. Higher oil prices will also increase operating costs for these businesses, such as electricity, transportation, shipping, logistics, air travel, and the production costs. David, I want to go back about your thoughts on the reasoning behind dramatic increases in oil prices. I agree with you that supply and demand are unbalanced. Do you think this is a short-term issue or a middle long-term issue?
I think this is a long-term issue, and we are going to face an energy crisis right now. The energy supercycle is driven by a structural decline in supply and a structural increase in demand, so gas prices will remain high in the next 5 to 10 years. For the short term, the Russian-Ukraine war made gas prices even higher as it cut off the supply.
Good point. I think our government needs to take some actions, including recent inflation subsidies and further push of green energies. David, what do you think our government should do to solve this issue?
I think the US needs to increase oil production and cut tax on energy when pushing green energy innovations.
I agree. Hopefully, Europe will be back to peace and we'll have a better supply of gasoline. Well, David, I think we should spend some time thinking about what a normal person needs to do to navigate through this inflationary environment.
Sure, I think investments are definitely a good thing to think about. Let's discuss it in our next topic.
Great. Let us talk about it next time. Remember to follow us if you are interested. Thank you for watching.